Okay, I'm here with Ryan and Carrie Gable, just asking them some questions. They're premier agents on Zillow. First question I want to ask you is, what do you do when you get a prospect that contacted you on Zillow and you actually get their voicemail on your first contact with them?
I actually pick up my phone. I answer the calls right away, so I don't get a lot of voicemails from contacts because I'm usually dealing with them live.
What about email? If they send you an email and then they say, give me a call, I'd like to know more about this property, this neighborhood.
Oh yeah, perfect. So I take kind of an educative approach. So it's each property is different. So let's say they're contacting me on something on a short sale. So I'll give them the property information, but I'm always trying to engage them. I'm always asking them a question. Do you know what a short sale is? On an email, that's so important. I leave it open-ended at the end, like here's the property information. A lot of times on Zillow, a lot of the properties have sold or maybe not even for sale. So I'll always ask one question that then they'll reply to, like, no, I don't know about short sales. What can you tell me? And then I have them hooked. And then I can go from there. I can go a lot of different ways depending on what they're looking for.
Perfect. Okay, so what do you do when somebody contacts you from Zillow and you reply back to them and then they don't respond?
Well, it depends. If there's no phone number and it's strictly email, then we have a system where, okay, within 48 hours we'll try again. Hey, just want to follow up, make sure that you got the email, you contacted me about this property, we did respond, just wanted to see if you received it. And again, if there's something on the end of that it's a foreclosure or short sale, maybe we'll put some information about that type of property again to kind of engage them a little bit. And then if we don't hear from them again, usually we're not somebody that goes after them every day, but we stay consistent. Like I said, 48 hours, 72 hours, we'll check in. And then we use our virtual assistant company, Real Support, where we'll take that contact and then we'll put it into a monthly newsletter, a drip campaign that we use. And usually, eventually, they'll contact us.
Okay, there's over 4 million listings on Zillow. What do you do when somebody contacts you and is looking at a specific property, it's not your listing, and they ask you, are you the listing agent? How do you handle that?
Well, that happens pretty much all the time. I'd say half the contacts that will call in will say that, oh, I thought you were the listing agent. And what we'll say is, well, actually, we're a preferred agent for that area through Zillow. And we're buyer's agents. We help people buy property. So what you want is an agent like me to help you in research, at least at this stage, but even maybe going forward. You don't want to contact the listing agent directly because their interests lie with the sellers. So usually it's a 3-5 minute conversation because I got to get them to understand that. But if they're listening, by the end of the conversation, I've got them.
Okay, so Zillow has about 103 million homes. What do you do when somebody contacts you who's asking about a house that's just on the site? It's not a listing, it's not for sale, there's just a Zestimate on it, and they want to buy the house. How do you handle those calls?
Well, there's often a discussion about that, about why it's on the Zillow site and why it's not for sale. But then it immediately goes into, are you looking in this area? And then literally I'm into the MLS and looking at what is available. And while I'm talking to that person, and I've got their email, it's like, if you check your email, I just emailed you 3 or 4 properties that are just like the one that you looked up that's not for sale. Do you want to go check those out, or do you want more information on that? And usually then the conversation kind of flows from there. Yeah, I'm looking for 4 bedrooms, I'm looking for that, and then from there, it's simple. Then you just have to be responsive to what they're looking. And every Zillow client that comes in or contact that comes in, we're then having a discussion about, well, that's, Zillow has they have got information on every property, but if you're looking for property for sale, you can go through me, through the local MLS, and that's how I can, you're looking to provide them information on property for sale, and then being their counselor afterwards. So usually that's how I work with a house that's not for sale when it comes in.
Do you use a CRM or a program or a site? How do you manage the contacts you get from Zillow and the follow-up?
So with Zillow, we probably get a contact a day. So over the course of a year, you can understand that that's quite a few. So I've designed something more internally that we use with me and my agents, but we also use Real Support, a virtual assistant company, for on the fly, we get a contact that we send it to them, and then they put it into our database, into our system, as well as a monthly drip campaign that we use. So to do it ourselves is nearly impossible. We've designed it, we go over it. But we utilize a virtual assistant company, Real Support, and they take care of the actual administration of it.
And that's what you do?
That's what we do, yeah.
So you are the CRM then. You replace the app, the site, and the program, and so how does that work? I mean, how are you able to help convert these contacts into clients?
Well, we set them up on a drip campaign, but it's not just your generic drip campaign that everyone has in the back end of their website. These are actual. We write content exclusively for the agent and for their area on these drip campaigns. So it doesn't seem like a canned response. It seems very personal with links and action items and all of that good stuff. So we're trying to attempt to automate it without feeling automated, and therefore obviously the lead will respond to our emails. I mean, that's always our goal, is to write email drips that the lead will respond to, so that you have that back and forth interaction to start the conversation after that lead goes a little bit warm.
So those that are watching this video right now are probably asking, well, that's great, but what is your reach? What is your distance? How many agents can you provide that type of a service for?
Well, that's a good question. We are actually a team of 15 people. So while we're virtual to our clients, we have a real bricks and mortar office space that's right outside of Chicago, Illinois. So it's not just myself, it's 15 other team members that are completely cross-trained to provide nothing but service for real estate agents. And we do other things besides the lead management, but that's just one of the things that we do for agents nationwide.
So east to west coast, you've got, okay.
All over. We even have Virgin Islands, yeah, so everywhere.
So I'll make sure I put a link to your site.
Yep, realsupportinc.com.
The other important thing about that is that a lead will come in. Let's say it's a really good lead, and if I'm in the car and I can't, I don't have my laptop or my battery's dead or something, I will call into Real Support and talk to my contact over there and say, I need you to go into the MLS. I need you to pull this information. Here's the email address. Send her everything that I just talked to her about, as well as this, this, and this, and it's done within 15 minutes.
Awesome.
That's invaluable. I mean, that's what keeps me at the top of my game.
What would you say is the number one tip you could give somebody of being able to take an online contact and convert them to a client?
The number one, looking back at all the internet leads that I received, the ones that I have closed, all of them I could say got a response. I was able to respond to them within 15 minutes of their initial contact. And life happens. Sometimes you just can't get to that person within that time period. And I'll tell you, if I don't get to somebody within the first hour that they contact me, it's a dead lead. It's just not going to happen. We'll still make an attempt and we'll still try it, but from a pure statistical, I looked at this last week, from a pure statistical standpoint, it's the contact within the first 15 minutes. And that is what's, looking at the closings of what we close from internet contacts, that's always been the number one common thread throughout the whole thing. So that's the best advice I can give to somebody. Try to get them to engage with you. It's not just giving them information on a property. Get them to get into a conversation, and I think that's what a lot of people miss out on, how to handle these internet leads. They want information, so give it to them, but you have to sometimes pull it out, what kind of information they really need, but maybe they just don't know to ask.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.